I'm bringing the candle moment back into the channel. If you guys have not been around for that long, that's a key component. I've been forgetting to do that, but I find it adds a lot, you know what I mean? I have a little candle vibe. This is Perrier and lemon. That is not alcohol, trust me. I'm sick right now, so excuse my voice if it sounds a little hoarse. Let's get straight into the video. What's up YouTube? Kyron back up in here with another video, and today we have a long-awaited vintage haul. I'm titling it Spring Essentials That You Need for Spring 2022. I know we're getting late into the months of spring, so I'm just using this title because it's appropriate for the items that I have in it. Obviously, I'm probably going to be using these a little bit more towards the fall winter months, and this has been a long awaited video because I've been like slowly accumulating the vintage items for this video, and every time I had like one or two pieces that I'd buy, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's not enough. Now I have a healthy amount that I could showcase for you guys, and so this is like a couple months of pieces worth all into one video. So I didn't just go and balled out and splurge on this one. This is just like from different trips, different packages, all in one video. So if you guys don't know, vintage is definitely a key part of this channel. I just haven't really been highlighting it as of recent, and I've been seeing comments from you guys noticing that as well. So all the vintage lovers, all the vintage boys, I got you guys on this one. The next two videos are going to be vintage related, so I got you guys. This month is all about affordability, sustainability. I'm trying to help out the boys with the healthy pockets for the summertime so we can spend more on the food and the going out and enjoying times with our friends as opposed to balling out on Balenciaga like your boy's been doing, because that hurts the pockets a little bit, you know what I mean? So now we're on the healthier side of the budget. So let's get straight into what I've been getting for my vintage pickups. Let's get straight into it. Before we get into that, make sure to follow the boy on Instagram, GOTSWEIGE, so where you can keep up to date with me more frequently. I post fit pics, this and that, so that's where you can check out on there. Like this video if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new. All of my social medias will be in the description box below, so make sure to go check those out. Before we get into today's video, I just want to firstly thank the lovely sponsors of the video, which are JBW Watches. You guys are already pretty much familiar with JBW Watches, collaborated with them before in the past, so it's nothing new. And I just wanted to mention how much I've been enjoying the last watch they sent me, which is titled the Arc. I wear it pretty much all the time. If you see me out and about, I'm always wearing this one right here. It features 12 authentic diamonds and a total of 869 premium crystals, which flood the whole wrist. It also features an elegant little hidden push button clasp that you could find at the bottom for ease of comfort and style. I honestly get complimented like every single time I wear this watch. It's like super elegant and just sits perfectly on my wrist. It also suits my style very well because I have a smaller wrist, and honestly something just like a little bit more dainty with like a slight little edge with the flair of the crystals and the diamonds is just like very much my style with the jewelry I wear. Fits perfectly with my set, everything that I wear right here. I think it's great. And what's even better than lacing yourself with such a timeless piece? Getting a little contemporary family jewels for your dad, that special someone that means the most to you. This Father's Day, JBW has the perfect specials going on so that you could get the special deals to hook up your pops and make sure that he's laced for this Father's Day. Please be sure to use my discount code KyronJBW to save $25 off of your order. Make sure to take advantage of this amazing opportunity. I love my watch, and I'm pretty sure that your pops would enjoy one as well. My dad's just as outlandish, if not more, than me with jewelry especially, so I'm pretty sure he would enjoy something like this. Also, it's impossible to shop for that man. We're both like the worst people to shop for because we always buy exactly what we want, but something like this is definitely a curveball, and I'm sure that your pops would enjoy the same thing. Huge thanks once again to JBW for sponsoring today's video, for always keeping me right with my watch. I really appreciate it. Continue back to this video. Bow. Now we can get into the video. For being a little under the weather, I'm surprisingly really upbeat right now, so let's keep it going, hopefully. So this first piece is a piece I got out in Philly. I believe I got this from Suplex Vintage. If you guys are in Pennsylvania or in Philadelphia, definitely go check them out. Really great options for vintage wear. out of that store. They have 3 different stores. They had like Suplex Archive, Suplex Kicks, or Suplex Sneakers, basically like a sneaker consignment store. And then Suplex Archive was like Chrome Hearts, Gallery Depth, all of that. And then Suplex Vintage was just a bunch of different vintage options. Very like traditional vintage though, like lots of like Stone Cold Steve Austin type of t-shirts and all that, which is not necessarily my style. But when I was digging through, they had like a good amount of like Americana jackets, and I know it wasn't really the season for me to be buying that because of how hot it was when I was out there, especially right now it's super hot. But I did know that down the line I'd get plenty of good wear out of this. This is just this Wrangler shearling jacket, if it wants to focus. Yeah, really beautiful embroidery on that tag, made in the USA. It's beautiful. Between that, is it XL? Yeah, this is an XL, and just the suede is like perfectly worn in, really buttery soft. I could just really imagine this with like a lot of the Western outfits that I put together in the fall winter months. So I'm super excited to piece this together when the time comes. On to the next. So these next 2 have been something I've been wearing a whole lot in the earlier months of spring that I haven't really had a chance to touch on because I was saving it for this video. So a lot of people have been asking me on my socials, what's this jacket? What jacket is that? What jacket is that? Now you guys got the answer. This first one, this twill one, I literally just got out of a thrift store. I get super lucky with these long overcoats for some reason. Every time I'm envisioning exactly what I want in my head, I go into an actual thrift store, which I rarely do nowadays. I prefer to go to curated vintage just because it saves me a whole lot of time, and I feel like time is more valuable than the extra amount of dollars I would be spending on a piece. I don't mind forking out that to save me a little bit of time, if that makes sense. But this time I passively went to a thrift store because I had time to kill, and I went in there being like, I want a black overcoat. So by my lucky chance, when I had a day off to just kill some time, I went to the thrift store and I found myself this lovely overcoat. It's in a size large, but it has like a medium, like a light down, not really like down, but just like a lining to it that makes it a bit more hefty instead of like light and flowy. So it's good for the spring months. Another funny thing about this is every time I'm looking for like alternatives, I tend to find it as well. There is a Balenciaga like to the floor dragging type of trench coat that had released recently, and it was like going for like between like 3 to 5 grand, something crazy. This was like 24 bucks or something like that. So super happy with this, and it's just as long, super dramatic and oversized, directly in line with like some of Demna's current aesthetics and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it in the early spring months when it was a little bit colder, and I'm gonna enjoy it moving into fall winter. But for right now, we're into lighter layers and stuff like that, so I'm gonna have to put this into hibernation along with this bad boy right here. This right here is insane. I'm gonna let go of one of my cheat codes right here, okay? So for all leather goods, because luxury leather goods are just so like insanely expensive, a leather trench coat like this from any designer brand would be between like 4K, 5K, even upwards to 10K if they really wanted to. Just because working with leather goods is super meticulous, I get it, and especially when you bring it to a fashion house, they're gonna be very nitpicky. But all that said, you could easily find some vintage or like secondhand alternatives to leather goods, such as leather trench coats. So I've been looking for one. Obviously all the luxury ones, like I said, are really expensive, and I wasn't trying to pay that, but I did know I was able to find something eventually secondhand or vintage. And when I was on eBay, that's where I kind of looked for all of my like little low-key stuff that I don't mind paying a little bit more for, but definitely way under what luxury is. So this I got for like about like 130 bucks, and it came to me from Bulgaria. And I'm very like particular with my leather. I like it to be like a crinkled calfskin, so like very textured, a little bit of like pebbling, stuff like that. Just like a really good plush leather, super soft but very dense at the same time. Kind of reminds me of like the same leather that like Chrome Hearts uses and other luxury brands of a similar nature. And I just loved the measurements that I read online. So that's a big thing with shopping online vintage. Study your measurements, know your measurements very well, and you'll be able to buy the exact thing that you're envisioning in your head. I just looked at the measurements for how long it was going to be. I compared it to some of the overcoats I had. I was like, it's going to be perfectly at the length that I want, like almost like sweeping the ground type of thing. Really dramatic, almost like in the same Demna breadth that I was talking about before. The width of it, the lapels, everything. It was just way too perfect. So excited with this, and it's also like lightly quilted, like similar to how the trench coat is. So it just has a great weight to it. It just feels very luxurious, and for a fraction of what the luxury dudes is charging, I'll take it any day. So moving on to some other slider pieces, we're gonna get into some like lighter outerwear, then some accessories, tops, all of that. So the next item we have are these long sleeves. I am a huge fan of thermals. I feel like thermals are a great layering piece, more in the fall winter months of course, but if you're in spring summer, you could just wear this alone with some shorts or something like that, and they come out super nice. I'm gonna take it out of the packaging. These are from an army surplus that just had like a surplus of old made in Canada long sleeve thermals. So I have these right here, really tough. Love how dense the waffle knit is on this, and just the made in Canada stuff is just like so much better than some of the more modern thermals that I've seen. And also they're just hard to come by right now, like thermals or waffle knit long sleeves. I don't know why, but even if you go into like your local like Walmart or whatever, Target, if you guys have Target in Canada, we don't have Target, you'll be lucky to find some, but us, it's kind of a shortage right now. So this came into the clutch, definitely. Next up for tops, a friend of mine, Charles, was kind enough to give me another one of these like dead stock vintage items, and this one we have is just a classic white tee. This is the brand, if you want to look it up. Maybe they have a couple on eBay or any other site like that. I doubt you'd be able to find it super easily, but hopefully around and about you'd be able to find it online somehow or something similar. But yeah, just a great nice rib on the collar, but a classic white tee. Can't really go wrong with something like this. Just super old, man, like really old. You could see like the fold stains just from it being folded in the package, which is insane, crazy. But yeah, really love white tees in general. Always get really good wear out of them, so I'm excited to bust this one out in the summer. Not too much to say about a white tee. It's a white tee. Let's move on to the next item. Okay, so this next one was another item I found spontaneously in the thrift store. Megs and I ended up going into a Salvation Army, which is not something we normally do, and I really try to force myself to not buy anything because I really don't need anything else. But if I see something super unique, then I'll probably try and scoop it up. And this reminded me of like a Kira vibe slash like Japanese motorcycle type beat, so I just really fell in love with it. Super cropped and wide, nice little neutral tone, so it's very easy to wear and pair. Had that like kind of motorcycle type of collar, and I believe it's a Korean brand. I don't know what brand that is, but you guys could look it up. It could be old, could be new. I'm very unaware with that. Yeah, it was 15 bucks. Nothing too crazy. Pockets were interesting. I love the way it cinches up on the back and the front. This little panel also quite interesting to me too. Just a cool little jacket, something nice to layer with summer nights. Can't really get wrong with that. Perfect for the springtime, like I said, and the title of this video. So definitely gonna get plenty of wear out of that. Also, the lining was like a nice little plum color. I found that complemented the tan quite nicely. So yeah, really enjoying this. Can't wait to style it this spring, summer. Now this one, this has been a hat that I've gotten plenty of wear out of as a recent. Like when it comes to vintage caps, I kind of like find one or get one and I just like rinse the hell out of it. Like I really just fall in love with it and really put it through a true whirlwind. But this Cherry Hills hat is from Old Clothes Are Cool. Really appreciate him always hooking up vintage pieces for the channel. Shout out to Alex. Yeah, just really nice little motif on the front, Cherry Hills. I love little graphics like this on a nice fitting trucker hat. And this powder yellow is by far my favorite yellow, as you can see on this capital piece that I'm wearing. Fit right here. Boom, bow. So yeah, really just great simple hat. You could chuck it on anything. It makes it a little bit more lively, and I'm very happy with that. All right, so this next item is from Old Clothes Are Cool as well. It is this, I believe, early 2000s Wu-Tang vintage tee. Really great wash and breaking on the screen print. Just love how worn it is. The collar is nice and like chipped up, as a lot of brands try to mimic these days, but that happened through natural wear and tear, which is really sick. Always been looking for like a really good, like credible Wu-Tang tee, just because like it's hard to find one with the right fit and then also the right wash, cracking, all of that, without it being like an arm and a leg, you know what I mean? So really great find. I love it. Can't wait to really wear it this summer. Vintage tees are my favorite thing in the summertime, as I'm pretty sure some of you guys know. All right, so for these next two items, both are just altered pieces. One of them is new, one of them is old. This first one I showed a while back in one of my vintage hauls, just Temple University crew neck, super nice distressing on the collar and all that, and the print as well, really sick, just classic collegiate style crew neck. A reason why this one is special to me is I was born at Temple University Hospital, which is crazy. So when I saw this, I had to get it immediately. The only thing I didn't like was the fit. It was way too long, so I just got it cropped at my tailor, and he did a really good job. It looks like exactly how it was meant to be. So got that back, fits way better now, so I'm more keen on wearing it. So really excited to wear that a whole lot more often now that it's all altered and whatnot. And in that same trip, another pair of real tree pants. What else is new? So I basically got the butt taken in and the waist, because these were like a size 36 and I'm more like a 31, 32. If I'm trying to go baggy, 33, 34. So yeah, these fit more like a 33 right now, so I have them a bit more like low waisted, but then the legs are like super baggy, so they puddle over shoes quite nicely. Another cool thing is that like these have like a little button so you could cinch it up if you wish, but I like how they puddle over the shoe, so I keep them nice and loose. All real tree camo, a little bit of a different camo that I have on my other pair of Carhartts. But yeah, I think I might alter my Carhartt pair and do that video that I was talking to you guys about that I want to do with Louis, which is like a gallery depth dupe video, bringing our clothes to like the tailor, showing them like the panels that we want to add to them and seeing how they turn out in the end, and then also doing like some paint splatter stuff, because he has some stuff that he wants paint splattered in the summer. So we'll probably try and shoot that video sometime soon in the upcoming months or weeks, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, great little real tree camo pair of pants. I love the way those look. They always just are so great to just toss on and like make an outfit a bit more funky, so I really like those. So the next couple items are from Tin Fam, which he runs his own vintage shop, and I just wanted to put all the handles right here because he was so kind enough to just send me a bunch of pieces for the video, so I really appreciate that. Anyone that has vintage, curated vintage, and would like to be featured on these like vintage segments, I love just like putting on more vintage curated platforms for people to buy, because people don't really know where to go for that. So like I like putting these videos on so that I put them in the description, and then people could go and shop freely, as like the more outlets to buy vintage the better, I find, so that you don't have to buy fast fashion or anything like that. So this is a great outlet for that, doing these videos for you guys. So we're gonna get straight into it. Crazy boxy green raglan. I love how boxy this is. This is about like 25 by 25, which is my perfect measurement for boxy pieces. I like how thin this is too, so you could easily wear this in the spring, as I've been trying to get onto. This is this tag right here. It's a XL, but I'm sure it fits more like just like a wide large, with all the vintage washing and all that. So yeah, really like how like a very unique green. I don't have a green like this in my wardrobe, so I'm really interested to wear something like that right now. And then continuing with the green theme, we have this Chore Jacket, a little bit heavy for the current season, but in the fall would be really nice to wear, most definitely. Love the removed pockets on the front, gives like a nice little sun faded feel. And continuing with that green theme, also has the like quilted lining. Love that. Good theme going on with all the rest of the stuff. I have a lot of quilted lined pieces. And then this last piece is this boxy gray crew neck, but by these last two pieces are by another vintage seller. I have to make sure that they're separated between the two, my bad. But these are from Pearled Ivory. Huge shout out to Pearled Ivory for sending these over. I really appreciate it. I did a like curated closet, or like a curated collection with them. Like I picked out the vintage pieces and then they released it on Pearled Ivory. Really fun experience. Just like curating anything is like a really fun pastime for me, for whether it comes to music, fashion, anything, you know what I mean, art. I just love having my hands in like orchestrating things, positioning things, timing, anything. Like it's just a really fun job to have some form of direction over a project. So yeah, especially doing that collection, it was really enjoyable to do the whole process of like selecting the goods, picking the right amount of tops, bottoms, all that. So yeah, this was what I selected for myself, which is this boxy gray crew neck. I could never get enough off of these heather gray crew necks. I don't know why. It's like the inner Steve Jobs in me. I just have this like weird dream that like one day I won't care about any of this, like when I'm like in my 40s or something like that, and I just have like a bunch of my favorite Levi's and like a bunch of these and like some of my favorite shoes and a nice watch, and I'm just gonna be content. Like Ray and I talk about this fantasy all the time, that we just want to have gray, whatever type of upper that you enjoy, simple bottoms, nice watch, whatever shoes, simple life past fashion, you know what I mean? Where you're like, you're so far down the fashion spectrum that you don't even care about fashion anymore, you know? Like that's how I feel like that's the space designers get into. You know how there's that little like you notice that fashion designers don't dress well? It's so funny to me. Like I feel like because you get to a point where you're just like, you don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, on to these 517s that Pearled Ivory sent me. Beautiful pair, really nice wash. Unfortunately, they just don't fit me exactly the way I want, so I'm probably just gonna tuck them and keep them for reference. But yes, really beautiful wash. Definitely would have been a super big fave of mine if they fit, but unfortunately they don't. But a really nice orange tab nonetheless. So yeah, and that is it for this video. Really appreciate you guys stopping by the channel once again. Sorry for the long one, but it had to be done. And yeah, I'm happy to be back into the vintage flow of things. It's been a while, but for right reasons. Obviously you guys seen what I accumulated just then, and it's just great for styling. I feel like it makes it really unique for my clients to have something that they know is not going to be out in the marketplace anywhere else. It also has like a unique fit, unique washes, colors, tones, textures. And then also just for my personal outfit building, it keeps me distinct from other people out there too. I just love vintage for that. And then also like this sustainable aspect, not really shopping fast fashion, all of that. There's just so many reasons why vintage is so great, and it helps you with building your wardrobe essentials, especially in like spring, summer. Like you could easily pair a little crew neck with some shorts, nice little shoes, good right there. Or if you want to just do like a nice little vintage tee, pants, nice little shoe, boom. There's like a lot of little variants you could do with vintage. You don't have to do head to toe vintage, sprinkling it in here and there so that adds a little character, but you don't want to be stepping out looking like you just hopped out of the Rose Bowl flea market, you know what I mean? Unless that's your thing, which is completely fine. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. More vintage content on the way, so I could satisfy my vintage lovers out there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the pickups. Definitely going to be styling these over the summer, and you guys will see anything that didn't fit me in the upcoming pop-ups that I'm going to be doing with Megs or on my Depop, if I get around to that, because it's kind of hard to sit down and shoot photos of that. I don't know why. It's a tedious process for me, but I'll let you guys know where they are eventually. Follow the boy on Instagram, GOTSWEIGE is where you can keep up to date with me more frequently. I post fit pics, this and that, so that's what you can check out on there. Like this video if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new. All the other socials will be in the description box below. Peace.